Okay, to the person I was just chatting with in my comments section, I'm recording this. Part 5 to What If Deku Was a Cyborg. I should have recorded it earlier, yes, but I didn't. And to the person who was in the comment section, you know why. Moving on, we ended at the end of final exams, and I'm gonna do the Island arc now. But right before the Island arc, there's 1 day left. They tell everyone that they're going to be holding a festival to raise everybody's spirits. And inform them that they are starting to build dorm rooms. So they all get notified on that. So we'll get to that whole mess later. But I say but a lot. Moving on to the whole Island thing scenario. I'll be fine. What happens next is they move on to, All Might asks him if he wants to go to All Island with him because he's going to meet up with an old friend. And you see, the thing is, I've only watched the movie once. I haven't seen it, anything about it since. So things are going to be wrong and I'm going to skim through it. So basically, there are several people there. Ow. My legs. So there are several people there. There are several people that are definitely there. Obviously, Baku is there. Kirishima's there. The people that were there are there. I'm just going to skip over the presents because I don't remember if they were there or not. I know Kaminari was there. But Mineta isn't part of the friend group, so he wouldn't be there. So what happens is the several people that are definitely there is Momo, Kyoka, Scorpius, Ochako, because her last name's a butcher and I don't want to say it, and then Izuku, or Senta, because I need to constantly remind myself that his name is Senta. That's the fake name I chose for him. So, moving on to the actual events of the story. It pretty much goes the same way, except he's talking with Melissa more. He's not that underconfident, person that he is in the anime. He's very confident in his skills and abilities, and Melissa, being the genius that she is, I don't have any pictures of Melissa, so sorry. But being the genius that she is, helps Izuku with some of this stuff. We'll get to those upgrades at a later date. But the most important one that I'm going to talk about right now is the AI system that is now, a part of his, suit. And before any of you even think about it, like, oh, what if the AI takes over his body? No, that's not going to happen. It's my what if. It's not going to happen. Or will it? No, I'm kidding. It's not happening, guys. This isn't going to be another freaking... I forget what his name is, but you know that one, I think it was Jarvis became some sort of, the AI got corrupted or something and then became sentient and tried to take over the world or whatever. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. It's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, someone will put it in the comments. Probably. And, yeah. So basically, he has an AI system in his head. If anyone wants to come up with a nickname or an anagram or whatever, or what have you, for this AI system, please do, because I don't have time to. And, yeah. Moving on. And so, moving on, things continue the way they do in canon. After that, the whole break-in... Oh, right, spoilers for the movie. Should have said that. I'll probably put it in the description beforehand now that I've realized it. So if you didn't read the description, it's your fault. The whole, thing that happens... You know what happens in the movie. That happens. But before that, everyone's meeting up, because this is the scene I really want to get to. Izuku's talking with Melissa, and he's well-dressed. And remember, Rinko and Ochago have a crush on Senta. Because they don't know it's Izuku, so they have a crush on Senta. Which, same person, but you get what I mean. They don't know it's Izuku. Basically, what happens is, he's not dense. He knows they have a crush on him. He knows that Kyoka herself also has a crush on him as Izuku Midoriya, not as Senta, but as Izuku Midoriya. And so, because of that, he kind of teases them a little bit and starts flirting with Melissa. And because of that, Rinko and Uraraka go over to him. Rinko kind of smacks him with her tail, which his helmet is thin at the moment, just because he doesn't feel like he needs to be reinforced. So it's gonna move him, so it's gonna move his head to the side a bit, but it's not gonna harm her for hitting him in any way. Plot armor, one could say. And then Uraraka slaps him, and he starts floating. And laughter ensues. Who's by who? Who knows? But there's definitely someone laughing. It's probably Melissa. And Kyoka is sitting there wondering why she's angry at Senta for flirting with someone. And she has, for the briefest moments, the thought that maybe they could be the same person and he was just lying and Izuku came up with a fake name or something. But she quickly pushed it aside as he has a cyborg quirk, so it's not possible. And she keeps telling herself it's not possible, it's not possible, it's not possible, it's not him. Of course, we all know it is him. Anyway, moving on. What happens next is, they make their way to the top. Izuku easily defeating every person who gets in his way, and also, being invisible and getting up there stealthily, takes out everyone. Now, for the guy that can control metal, here's how I rule his quirk, because technically Izuku's body is made of metal. Here's how I'm going to say his quirk works. Since this metal didn't come from Earth, he has an extremely hard time bending it, even with the quirk amplifier, because he shouldn't be able to bend metals that aren't from Earth, with his quirk, so he's barely being able to do it with this extreme enhancement. So he's all like, what the fuck? Why can't I, manipulate you? You're made of metal. And with this, Izuku goes, well, you see, this metal isn't necessarily from Earth. And again, him and All Might are the only ones there. They're the only ones actually, face to face with him, so no one else hears him say that other than All Might. And All Might and as All Might told Izuku his own secret, Izuku told All Might his secret, and to, just not say anything, which All Might respected, because he wasn't going to say anything about his secret, so why should he say anything about Izuku's secret? And he did say that it would probably be best if he didn't keep it a secret as long as, he'd tell her as soon as possible, blah, 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 blah. That whole spiel. And moving onward, the fight continues until Izuku uses both his Crimson Energy Blast and the hot and cold, rays I mentioned in the last episode in his fight with Todoroki. And he says, "Dual Cannon." Hold on. I literally just had it in my head and then I forgot. So we're gonna go with this for now. Dual Cannon, Frost Burn. And it's basically like the Dual Cannon Solar Burst, except now it's adding the energy and the hot and the cold at the same time. So no, he just does this in the whole Kamehameha stance. Because that's how I imagine it. Don't know how you imagine it. Anyway, with that being said, we move on to, the whole, I can't believe you did it, you barely have a scratch on you, which, because of the fact that the person did bend him a little bit, he is slightly broken in a few places, but not to any significance that it would actually, stop him from, kicking his ass. And yeah. So moving forward, the whole Island thing, that's done. Now we're getting into the whole how do I put this? We're getting into the whole concert thing. Everyone convinces Kyoka, totally not pressuring her at all into doing it, convinces Kyoka to do a concert. Which, now that she knows that he's alive, she both reluctantly agrees to, and is also, happy to do it, because he said he was closer than you think. Maybe he's in UA or something, right? They've deduced that much. I'd have to go back and look on that recording to remember what exactly the hint was. But they've dumbed it down to probably one of the students at UA, and being the smart person that he is, the son of one of the greatest, robotical engineers of all time, greatest inventors of all time, that he could have come up with some sort of cloaking device that, makes him look and sound like an entirely different person. So they rule out everybody at the hero course because they all have quirks and their powers are, you can't fake those powers. So, yeah. They've ruled out everyone in the hero course. It has to be someone outside of the hero course. Maybe support course. They're thinking, but they can't be too sure. Sure. And keep in mind, Senta's helping them with this. Or rather, Izuku is. And, subtly dropping hints here or there saying, it wouldn't be impossible. Technology... he points to himself and says, technology is quite advanced, I've completely copied both Ida's quirk and, Todoroki's quirk. I have both of their abilities at once. Technology is far more advanced than you realize, so it is possible. So he says you can't rule out anyone from the hero course. So you probably couldn't rule out anyone from the hero course. And he's kind of leading them on, but kind of not. Leading them astray here and there. And so, by the time the concert comes around, they've already moved into the dorms. Their parents all said yes, they moved into the dorms, and then, guess what? Yep, concert. Like this. I'm gonna move on to this picture just to change it up. So, she goes on a freaking spree. She sings the entire Heroes 2 song. If you haven't heard it, it isn't the best. The voice actor is pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. But the lyrics to the song... If Hirokoshi wrote those, my only advice is don't become a songwriter. If it came from an actual songwriter, my advice is do better. No offense. But honestly, I wasn't impressed with it. With the lyrics, at least. The beat was good. I just went on a tangent about the freaking Heroes 2 song. I'm sorry about that. But yeah. So she does that, and, Eri is there because, this is just, the cultural festival done early. So, that whole thing happens. And so they all go to their own rooms. And then Izuku had a burner phone and send the video to his systems, which then the burner phone would then self-destruct, leaving no way to track it, like, at all, like, physically, or, electronically, because he's smart. If that's not a thing, it's a thing now. And so they move on, and so the video then gets sent to his systems as they're all in the common room, and then just instantly projects itself in front of everybody, and they see Izuku there. Again, this is a pre-recorded video, and it's his soft voice. Everyone's like, who the hell is that? And, Rinko, Momo, and Jiro, or Kyoka, are the only ones who, here we are the only ones who know what he looks like, because he looks like this. So they're the only ones who actually know somewhat what he looks like, and they're like, that's him, that's Izuku. So he is alive. We were right. He did leave the clue in order to confirm that he was alive. No one else could have done it. It wasn't just to traumatize her or something. He's the one who left it. And as the video starts up, Izuku's there saying, "It's been a long time, Kyoka. Long time, in fact. 3 years, actually. Unfortunately, even. But I am alive. And I hope that you got my first little clue. So, here's my second. A little love song of sorts. You remember that song we were writing when we were 12? Oh, you know the one. The one that we were writing before I got kidnapped. And everyone's like, wait, he got kidnapped? Wait, hold on. Who is this? As the video continues, saying... And Kyoka does remember the song, but it was never finished. He's like, well, I finished it. I changed up a few lines, but I think it came out nice. Ugh, she's stupid. Stop it. Stupid notifications. Not the person who did it. Stupid notifications. Anyway. So, moving on. The video plays the song Something Just Like This. I forget what the band is, and I don't feel like looking it up. Mostly because I can't pause the recording and then restart it later. I'd have to end the video here if I wanted to do that. But, Izuku sings that song. So if you want to pause the video here and listen to Something Just Like This, it's because I think it really fits Izuku when he was 12. Because when he was 12, he did have a crush on Kyoka. And Kyoka did have a crush on him, blah, 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 blah. And so he sings that song. And after that's over, he looks at the camera and he says, like I said before, I'm closer than you know. So close, you can touch me. So close, yet so far. I'm there, yet I'm not. You know me, yet you don't. Who am I? And guys, if you think that's way too, out in the open, think about it this way. He is close enough for her to touch him. She knows him, but she doesn't. He's there, but he's not. Because he's a different person. She doesn't know him because she thinks he's a different person. And you know what? I'm not going to explain this. If you don't get it, you don't get it. Someone please explain in the comments if you get it. And I'll correct you if you read way too much into it or read into it the wrong way. But I gave you the gist of it. She knows him, but he's a different person, basically. But he's actually a different person, basically. That's the hint. If you think that's way too obvious, well then congratulations, you're smart. Congratulations. Anyway. Moving on. So, after that happens, Momo, Rinko, Kyoka, and, Senta, air quotes, are all surprised, except for Senta, who acts surprised, because it's actually Izuku. And, then, everyone's bombarding them with questions, especially Mina and Hagakure. Hagakure? Toru. Gosh, there's so many ways to pronounce her last name. Her other name. Yeah. So, that happens. So they're basically insulting her with questions like, who was that? How did you know each other? Is that your boyfriend? Blah, 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 blah. And she says, that's none of your business, and goes to her room. In which case, the other three, being Momo, Rinko, and Senta, run up to her room, run up following her. In which case, she lets them in, then locks the door behind them, and closes and locks the door behind them. And they begin to, discuss all of the possibilities. And Senta says, well, this could confirm the theory that we've been having for a while, in which that he has some sort of device that changes his appearance. And he's now hiding in the school, acting like a totally different person. Listen, if you know what I mean. Think about it. You can touch him, but he can't. He's there, but he's not. It seems like he's pretending to be a different person. You know him, but you don't. Could be referring to somebody that was in the sports festival. Could be referring to the fact that anyone in our class, or anyone in 1B for that matter, anyone who you've met, in the past 3 years, anyone new that you've met in the past 3 years that you didn't know before, it could be one of them. I don't want to rule anything out. Keep in mind he's doing this in a really deep voice, but I can't do that long of a speech in a deep voice, so deal with it. I apologize, but you're gonna have to deal with it. And yeah, so that happens. And Momo and Rinko agree with this. But and Kyoka, also agrees with this, but she hasn't really gotten. But what he's saying, this diversion away from class 1A and 1B to literally anyone she could have met within the past 3 years, kind of leaves him sus. Like, not gonna lie, it kind of brings back the thought she had on Island that maybe Senta and Izuka are the same person, but is immediately knocked back by the same thing she told herself back on High Island. And he has a cyborg quirk, there's no way it's him, blah 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 blah, repeat. Eight. And with that, I think I'm gonna have to call the video here. So yeah, calling the video here. I hope you all enjoyed. As soon as I get to season 4 in the anime, I'm probably gonna do a time skip to the defeat of Shigaraki, or whoever takes his place, I should say whoever takes his place, the defeat of the entire League of Villains as a whole, because I haven't read that much into the manga. I'm trying to, but, I've been reading so many other things that I just can't make time for it, because I honestly prefer these other things I'm reading. Yeah, that's kind of just how it goes. So after I finish off what happened at the end of season 4, time skip to when there will be a time skip to when actually, nah, people have probably already clicked off the video, so I'm probably not going to continue. I thought for a fraction of a second, maybe, but no. Well, sorry if you're disappointed. But it'll be in the next video. Don't worry about it. And, yeah. Sorry, I'm fiddling with my hands. And a spoon. So yeah, I guess that's just how the cookie crumbles. So there's gonna be a bunch of time skips after that, so I'm sad to say it, but I'm also happy to say it, that the series might be ending in the next few parts, unfortunately. Or fortunately, however you want to look at it, because I don't do multiple series at once. So the next series isn't coming out until I finish this one, and then the series after that's not going to come out until I finish the next one, and so on and so on. So however you want to look at it, like, oh, there's going to be a new series when this is over, can't wait to see how that turns out. But that whole thing, if you're waiting for that, so if that's how you want to look at it, with that positive outlook, go ahead. That's how I'm looking at it, because I really want to do these next 3 what ifs. And yeah, this is blazing what ifs, blazing away at the speed